a software situation where he's making an RPG and he's incredibly shitty at programming. I happened to be working on an RPG a few months ago at the end of school because I just had like a ton of extra time laying around. So I said, fuck it, let me work on an RPG. I tried working on platformers before in this in JavaScript and didn't go so well because I couldn't handle collisions. But RPG, it's just, is there something in this tile? If there isn't, don't go into that tile. Or if there isn't, you can move into it. But yeah, I had some issues with that. Now, why the fuck isn't transparency working? Whatever. Background, transparent. I guess it must not be working with i3. Basically what I had to do is pay some weird shit with like XDG portal hyperland or something with my hyperland setup. Like, I guess it wasn't correct. So I basically had just installed XFCE, but I really wanted, because I didn't want to set up like my bar and stuff, and I really wanted like tiling window manager because that's what I'm used to. So I'm using that. It's kind of annoying. Anyway, so I think we might have this clone. This is where I usually keep all my GitHub stuff. It's usually document/GitHub. So I'm going to go into RPG, and first actually let me do a Python. I'm sure I do. Python M, HTTP server, import 8000. I really should set up my... I want this on 2, and I want this on 1. Okay. So if I go here, if I go to localhost 8000, you can see that we have a little thing. Wait, this is it. Alright, so who are you? I'm this test character. He runs away. And then he doesn't say anything else because I told him not to. Then the other characters over here. Greetings, traveler. What brings you here? Tell me more. Let's go to the sad option. So if I want to see the sad option, we go over here. And he says, I'm so sad I still by Bangito. And he's like, haha, you just say, haha, idiot. And that's all you can say. Now, it's pretty cool. I don't think I can show it because we have a tiling window manager, and I kind of don't know what i3 binds there are. But yeah, if you resize this, I don't know what I did. Probably somewhere. I think all my keyboard input just got eaten. Never mind. At least it got eaten here. Bro, what is going on? Run program. You see, like, the aspect ratio remains constant and stuff. Am I gonna have to kill the stream and stuff? Because i3 is literally not letting me do anything but... Really? Am I gonna have to do this? I guess we could just code from here. Nvim. I'm gonna cd into documents. Okay, it's because resize is still on, but how do I turn it off? The hell? plus 1, it's typing 2. And then we're just going to see documents. I'm going to see, we're actually going to enter in .i3/config. I copy this config. Pretty much. How do I find normal mode? I don't even like these binds. That's like mod shifts. No, I don't like mod shifts. What am I talking about? Right, return and escape. Okay, now we just figured out i3 again. That was kind of dumb. I mean, might actually still edit from here. So it might be more convenient. I'm going to see documents /git cd rpg. I'm an obsessive terminal cleaner. Alright, so now this is not the latest version of the game, because I realized that my NPC system was a little bit dumb, although I might actually bring that back because I realize it's like less dumb than I thought. And my text system is also kind of dumb. Here, I'll show you. Let's go into just nth dot, because we got those, what's his face? Who's the guy that works for Netflix? The Primeagen. The Prime Time. I got his Vim set up pretty much. So we go to, first of all, I don't like how my scripts are laid out. I would very much rather have a lot of my talking, like my dialogue stuff, separate from like my tile stuff, separate from this and that, from my main loop stuff, separate from my battle system. But well, let's actually look at one of our NPCs. So we have an NPCs.json. So if I want to write an NPC, you give it a test character. We have our first one called text character. The name test character, all properties and stuff. Now, branches is basically a branch traveling system on a tree, but it's like really done poorly. Like it is so poorly implemented. His next, like the next is funny, and it's like I don't really understand how my like input stuff where I select the two from the two options works that well, because I'm pretty sure I just vibe coded that shit. On complete is a complete nightmare. On complete, basically, like if I wanted to move somewhere, it does that, but it has to use a function queue, which is one of the worst systems yet created. So basically, I don't really like. I kind of like the way this is, but I don't like the way it works. So if you're going to main.js, you can check out, look at all these global variables. So, for example, for dialog state, it's literally just an object. If it's an active, it'll like start doing shit, and it needs all this stuff. I don't even know how it works that well. Like, it's basically AI coded. Like, what is this? Anyway, now the problem with text is I want it to be really cool. So how text works is you push text box classes to 4 each. Yeah, if there's a text box, if the text box is in text box layer, we render the first text box, and we draw the dialog menu if it's active. And this is where it gets pushed to like I really want to explain this because it's really cool, and ChatGPT kind of helped me write it, but it's really cool, and I actually understand it. Basically, how this game works. There's an internal canvas that you draw everything to, and then that like projects to the big canvas. It's like the game canvas. It's really cool. Oh, I'm really annoyed with this setup. I really wish I was on Hyperland. I spent days like at least 2 days configuring it. It looks amazing. But anyway, enough with the whining. I might try to still do the XDG portal thing. But I really want it. I've been itching a stream. But yeah, this is like the biggest problem. And basically, it's like weird with the player because it's basically just saying players move actions. This all gets negated. Or no, yeah, this all gets negated if text box layer 0 has length. And I just think the text box system, especially, is a downfall. So, the current version I have on Git, if you want to go access to github.com, or let me switch the scene for a second. Just make a new blank scene. You can probably still hear me, but yeah, I'm just trying to sign in. You won't even see it because I use the password manager and stuff, but you can go to Master Chief 99 RPG. I should probably link this on my YouTube, by the way. And the last change is delete nearly all NPC in text code, and I'm going to do a complete rewrite, so that's what the point of the stream. That's what I'm trying to stream the next few days after I get back from summer school. I'm not doing summer school because I'm stupid, it's because I have stuff to do. So if we go in, let us git pull or git fetch or whatever, git fetch, git pull, git merge. Sudo rm rf rpg. This is the dumbest way to do this. I just don't know Git that well. I know what I have to know. RPG. Alright, so if we go in here now, in our scripts, first of all, there's the very shell of the battle system. Like, it's the players can't even attack yet. Or players don't even have types of attacks. I believe enemies have an attack. I want to explain my battle system a little bit. Basically, or in my random encounter system, basically the first thing I did before I made the battle system was I made a random encounter system. Yeah. A lot of these are probably obsolete variables, but you can see like we deleted pretty much all the NPC functions except for like loading their JSON maybe. Actually, I think that's also deleted. And like we kept text box because I like how they render. Like I took a while figuring out that gradient because I really wanted to match Final Fantasy 3 because I'm a big fan of Final Fantasy 3. I mean, is it 3 or 4? I think it's 4 actually. I haven't even like beat the whole game, but like from the parts I played, I really do like it. And similarly with the random encounters. So how it does it is basically at the start of the turn, or at each walk, I guess, because no, it does random encounter adder first, and then does it do the check? Yeah. Basically, if you're on a tile type where a random encounter can happen, so can't happen on stone, but it can happen on grass. If it's that type, then it's not encounter cooldown. Oh yeah, basically you have an encounter cooldown, so there's like a certain amount of turns or a certain amount of moves that you just can't encounter anything after one encounter. If there is one, or if you're still on that cooldown, it subtracts on the cooldown. Else, it's going to add your number. So encounter counter per step is a variable that you set when you create the player. Let's see what we created in the player. It's like 192, I think, because I copied it from Final Fantasy. So it adds that. So your encounter counter is like a big counter, and then we're gonna check if we hit a random encounter. Basically, if a number times 256, it's just if number 1 through 256 is less than your encounter counter, then have a battle. And this works very well because it means you have a higher chance of hitting a random encounter every step you take. Because on your first step, you'll get like this encounter counter will be pretty low. It'll be pretty low, but then it counts up, and like this, it starts at 192, then it goes to whatever 192 times 2 is, and that's like 1, and then it keeps going up, and then there's more numbers that this can be if it's like higher. I really explained that terribly. Just like do sample spaces and shit. Anyway, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get NPCs working. I don't know why I worked on NPCs and text boxes. I'm going to get text boxes working. Basically, for text boxes, what we want them to do is we have a render function already. I'm pretty sure I like my text box class. All we have to do is we have to render them, stop the player from moving. So what I think is we completely pause the main loop, and we have our own special rendering thing for text boxes. But I'm not sure if that makes sense, actually. Seems a little bit dumb. Because ideally I don't want like this moving to be that separated from this. So I kind of want like it to go in its own loop. We can test that. Because I don't know if we have to update the rest of this bottom counter. Or this bottom part of all text boxes are up. So we're going to do function text box loop. This should probably be in its own file, but and it's just going to give text box. And you pass in a text box. And it's going to literally just I guess we can remove this, and we can just do, I think we'll still do a text box array. So let's do let text box array equals, but this time it's going to be if is something in the text box, we're going to text box loop. Or no, we should do while we have stuff in the text box array, we're going to text box loop, and we're going to put in, this just feels like my old system, but I'm using a separate loop for it. Text box loop, and it's going to be text box array dot at, just be text box array. I think that works. Then NPCs can push, we can do NPC checks like here. We can do like NPC checks here, have them push the code here, or have them push their text here, and then, yeah. Zero, and then we're going to, I think it's shift dot shift array dot shift. Alright, I think that's it. I guess it's text box loop is literally just we want to, what? Alright, so I might, no, we can just render the text box over the other text box. We don't have to like clear renders and do another loop here. Text box array dot shift. And by the way, it's like, this is like a classic RPG. This isn't like a Toby Fox shitty Undertale dog shit. Where it's like a subversion of RPG tropes, because I think Undertale's boring. Like, the whole system is supposed to be like interesting, because you're like have to reason out encounters and stuff using like your check and your talking, and it's kind of interesting during bosses because you only fight them once. But when you have to fight multiple enemies a ton of times in the multiple times in one area, it gets to be insanely annoying. But yeah, anyway, yeah, it's just gonna have a traditional RPG combat system, except I'm gonna try and make it. Basically, my idea originally, I'm not sure if I'm still gonna stick with it, is the one thing I really like about later part JoJo Bizarre Adventure fights is that, like, they're kind of hyper specific. Like, you really have to find the piece that fits the puzzle to win the fight. I don't know if I'm explaining it that well, but I don't remember JoJo that well, but it's like, here, the final part of, the final fight of part 8, spoilers, I guess, like, I don't really understand it that well, but like, Josuke has like, he has like some weird ability called Soft to Go Beyond, which is like a perfect counter to the the stand, the one review stand, and it like negates calamity and shit. And part 7 too, spoilers, but like Tusk Act 4's, like Johnny has to figure out like his funny spin to get like his golden spin in Tusk Act 4 to get into D4C Love Train. Stuff like that. Like, I really want it to be like it's still like a traditional RPG, but I want it to feel a bit more specific like that. But that probably involves like good game design. So anyway, back to rendering, I guess. It's probably just text box dot render, and then I guess while actually have to handle toggle box cooldowns in here. Is what toggle box is. It's like this. Is it lit? No, I don't think it is. Okay, so while toggle box cooldown is less. Since I'm a real programmer, sort of, I use this thing that I like to call Boolean values. You may be familiar with these if you do real programming on like Pyro software. So we can use things like the not operator. Okay, so no. I guess we just don't move on until toggle box cooldown. Okay, while it's greater than 0. So if the cooldown is still greater than 0, and if you're not, okay, I guess we can just, this is really dumb. I guess we can just do a second check if toggle box. If it's greater than 0. And I guess we literally just loop that and leave it. Just loop it and leave it. I mean, yeah, this might be done. It probably isn't. Any actual programmers in chat can tell me, wow, I'm a stupid fucking idiot. But, what is this? Can't even drag it around like I can. I can. Okay, there we go. Beautiful. Not really beautiful, but I'll fire this window because it's basically just for running server. Oh, we have to add text box. question mark or something? Like, is it there? Okay. So we just have to have text. New text box. Hello world, I guess. I don't know. We want to push hello world. Text box array. This is really gonna get read from like JSON, but like not even really that. My name is not actually Master Chief 99 in real life. That's an Elon Musk kid name. Alright, we can try this. I will get text box working and then I will go to sleep because it is 1:03 a.m. in my time zone. And we already have an issue. Type error, canvas is undefined. How is show? Is it 304? Oh, we have to pass in context in canvas. That's a whoopsie. It's an internal CTX and internal CTX and what? Do I pass that into any other render function? Oh, I see. Okay, I agree with you. Because it is basing some stuff off of the width. I keep holding shift by accident. It's a bad habit. That's a new problem. Don't want to see your dog shit. I just want to see. I'm done. Wait, render to screen isn't getting called. But I don't even know if that's the issue. We could try render to screen. But since we're in the other loop, now it's gonna go terribly. Okay, this was written horribly clearly. I don't know why. Fine now. Every time we get here, I want to break. Yeah, shut up. I didn't put in textures. I didn't want to clog up the git. So we're gonna rerun this. Alright, so now the debugger just paused. We should probably have it render the screen at least once before we push it. But what's the problem? Alright, so 5, 2, So just undefined is just what it's returning. So it renders. Oh, did I delete the code? Shut up, shut up. Step out. Did I delete the code and render the screen that draws text boxes? No, I didn't. Alright, we might have to vibe code this shit out. They should be an or statement. And you still have the problem of never rendering anything because this is not really how you're supposed to use text box. So if we just let it play. Hell happened. Oh, is the page not responding now? What the riz? Do I have htop installed? Funky, I'm installing htop. What is it? Sudo merge htop. Why have I not done this? I neglected to actually add htop to my Nix for so long. I should have just streamed on Nix, but if I want to do some gaming, I have all my games pretty much installed that I don't need Windows for installed on Gentoo. The 64 gigs of RAM was so retarded. I don't use any of it. Wait, do I get banned for saying retarded on Twitch? Dude, is it running that poorly? That I can't even open inspect element? More tools. Web developer tools. Fuck. What the hell is going on? Terminator preferences get fucked up. Come on, man. Yeah, at least 1,000 lines. I guess we gotta get at least 1,000,000,000 lines. How fucking long is this? I thought it was only like a couple hundred lines. Did it not apply? There we go. 500 lines scroll back is not enough to copy an entire program. There's definitely a better way to do this, like to pipe this straight to my clipboard somehow. What the helly gun is going on? This is just how I used to do it, though. Bruh. I guess I'm a genius, but... I guess the problem was actually in my NPC code. Guess we'll just do this. No funny loop. I guess infinite while loops. Why does it like crash the game though? I'm mad. I'm genuinely angry. I'm just gonna copy this because I don't want to rewrite all the code I basically had. set moving time to like. Alright. Kill yourself, NetTech. You're banned. NetTech. 500. I think you put the reason. Advertising. Bro, that's all they do. It's like buy viewers and shit. It's probably my only actual viewers, because no one actually gives a fuck about the content. I don't think this actually uses the cooldown at all. She black as man cars. I'm about to ticket beat up at my show. The opposition sick of me, tired of some bro. Hit him left, hit him hard. Sick, tired, nervous, and broke. I don't believe it. Nicely at half 11. She black as man cars. You will heat at your garment. But they should just bro. Opposition sick of me, tired, nervous, and broke. Hit him left, hit him hard. Uh-oh, current text box. Bruh. Hold on. Percent S. Current, not current text box. Slash current text box. Try that change. Rev. To not show that on stream. Just cover it. Bruh. I'm stupid. That's my bad. Right, that means we can undo all that, even though that was really fun to do. Right, it's not actually handling cooldowns. I guess we can type check. I really wish I knew like TypeScript. Beautiful. We basically have our old system now. So if you look down here, it's like simulating encounters, kind of. It's having you just auto return win, but so if you see, it's counting up, and then after a certain amount of steps, maybe too many steps, because you have your, well, how many steps will it take? We've taken 1 step since we have 4, 5. So for the first 5 steps, you can't encounter anything. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. It's like 30 steps. I might have to increase the amount of ads, because I'm already being very lenient with the cooldown, but whatever. We'll do actual game balancing when the game is like ready. Anyway, since I achieved my goal, I'm gonna git push this, git committed. I mean, the current text box way is like a little bit better of a way of handling this, but like, it's not the biggest. It's not like the root problem. So like cd rpg git commit to m. We're gonna scene 2 again. Let's just use my proton mail, but it's like Mr. Chief 99. Name. Git add scripts. I'm pretty sure I just have VS Code auto stage on my shit, so added text boxes mostly on modified. Okay. Pretty sure my GitHub changes are still kind of terrible. Like the funny tile. Oh, forgot to git push. Why did I do the funny capitalization? Oh, I forgot I didn't switch scenes again, but that's fine because I need to pull out my personal access token now. You guys want to see a strat? Basically, I never know if how much my search bar stores stuff. So what I just do, because I know like Chrome OS, when I used to use it, you could like see past clipboards, and it would have like 5 characters and stuff. So I just like to copy. Like this is like all stuff you might search up: bingo, bing, bin, buy, and like B. I don't know, like the 4chan board or something. Just think about it. I really shouldn't show search recommendations, just in case. Anyway, if we look here, look at our profile. I'm surprised it shows like contributions, because I'm like, it's really mad at you if your contribution has a lot of deletes. for plugin, this is where we have all of our plugin configs. Not tree signal. Telescope. Alright, so it's just space FF. Yes, but now we can fuzzy find files, which could actually be really useful for programming. So we can go back to remap.lua, not remap.lua, packer.lua, and that's it requires plenary. We can get rid of those fine. Grovebox, that's just the theme. Tree sitter, I don't really know what a tree sitter does. I think it just like makes your highlights nicer. I'm not even sure that that's necessary because I feel like Neovim already has that. I guess we're installing plenary again for undo tree. What are my undo tree keybinds? Space U. And yeah, now we can see this. I don't remember all my undo tree key. How do I switch windows in Neovim? I forgot I was searching that up. I really want to know when Elden Ring for the Switch 2 releases. Because I beat all of Elden Ring before I left for a month to, let's just say, not use any internet, pretty much. Control W. You can like switch between, so I can go here and then I can like control W back to here and I can make hello world. What I can do, just use my ass. And look, it makes that funny treat. But anyway, we're gonna go back here because this is the actual thing I like. Just quit. I'm done. Anyway, as I was saying, this use harpoon, which also requires plenary. I assume plenary lets it do the UI or something. Shit. Okay. Oh, harpoon. So, I think all my harpoon key maps are set to, or like all the marked files. Control E for the quick menu. Because like, yeah, harpoon uses, I can do that. And I can see what my 1 and 2 are and go there. So 1 and 2, so I can go to harpoon really easily, which also gets me like in the after directory. And I can go back to my packer.lua really easily, which also gets me into a helpful directory. What is Vim Fugitive? Vim Fugitive. It lets you do Git stuff, which I'm never going to touch. I'm just going to open a terminal window. This is LSP config stuff, and this does completion. Anyway, a lot of the cool stuff we have set up. Oh yeah, one of the things I really like, I don't know why he made it PV, but it's just when I say it's space PV and go to now RW, which is amazing. So you look into our CMP thing, it actually seems to be pretty simple to set up. Yeah, I think I used to use some funny. If you look at SSH into my server, which I don't think I can do on this thing because I don't think I ever set it up. This just like lets you make your let's go tree setter. I have some more config stuff done. It's like after Lua, LSP, CCLS. Alright, I genuinely have no clue how this works. I wrote this a while ago. It's like a plugin. Bruh. It's kind of weird. Alright, do I want to do some gaming? Let's launch Steam and let's see if any of the games I see appeal to me. I can't wait to go back to using Hyperland. I know this whole stream is just me whining about how much I hate like i3 and XFC, but I could definitely get smoother animations, but that's one thing I love about Hyperland. I've played a little bit of Half-Life on my Mac, because I have a Mac, I have like one of the first M-series Macs. I have a Mac M1 2020, I think, and I got it in the year 2021. This like my first computer that I needed, and I needed it for online school, because like the old computer I was using, my dad's old computer, was like dying and stuff because it was like bad. But basically, M1 Macs suck. I really wish, or I sort of wish I got an Intel, because even though M1s, like everything still runs pretty well unless you're playing games. Like it's terrible for playing games. But everything still runs pretty well. It has very long battery life because it's an M series, and the ARM chips are great for battery life. But you know, no, like you can't play 32-bit because Mac cut support and stuff. So, like for example, I want to play Fear and Hunger. I thought, oh, Fear and Hunger is a Mac version. I can play that. I can play Fear and Hunger on my Mac easily, because you know, I thought it would be pretty fun just like do runs in bed and stuff, because you're kind of just bullshitting around. But you can't. Now, the coolest game I can get to run using. Okay, so what I had to do, because it doesn't have 32-bit support and doesn't have Windows game support, is because there's not like Proton. I know it's not viable for them, but please, please, Valve, make Proton for Mac. Please do it. That would push forward Mac so much. But yeah, I managed to get Dark Souls Remastered running on it, which is really cool. Yeah, it has to run at like one of the lowest possible resolutions, so it looks crunchy, but still Dark Souls, still fun. Anyway, so even though I have Donkey Kong Bonanza, now I do have it. I bought before I left, because the Steam sale started before I had no access to internet, and ended while I was having no access to internet. I bought Crash Insane Trilogy, which I already own on the Switch, because you know, I thought maybe there's some mods for it. There are no mods for it. No, there's no modding scene. But yeah, I just thought it was like really cheap, so I just bought it on PC. So I 100% in Crash 1. I'm gonna 102% it by getting. I might go for all Platinum Relics. What else have I been playing recently? I got Ready or Not, which I've wanted for a very long time. I think the censorship stuff is really stupid. I think, obviously, it's kind of dumb to change it on the PC. Like, you could have just changed it for consoles, but, like, people are making a really big deal about it, like, it's the first step, and they're going to start censoring everything, and it's against what the game was, but it's like 6 pretty small changes. Here, we can read them. I don't believe it. Yeah, avoid notification content changes. It literally just makes a girl not be having a seizure and be like sleeping. They should just have had her dead, but whatever. It puts pants on the guy in the ghillie suit. It puts a bra and panties on these women who are human trafficked. So it's like they should be naked. It puts pants on this guy or underwear on this guy, and it removes like fake CP or something from this guy's desk. Yeah, I think it's kind of dumb. Like, they should have just kept it, like, especially the people playing on PC. One of the reasons they wanted it is, like, it wasn't, it's like uncompromising or some shit. But, like, they're like, oh, it's abandoning it, and they're gonna start censoring everything, but they, like, censored 6 things so it'd be allowed to be on stuff like the PlayStation Store. And I think it's really dumb, so I'm gonna continue playing it. I've only played a little bit. I think co-op is really hard because you don't get AI teammates. So it's only 2 people, and the 2 people are often dumber than the AI. Obviously, I've been playing recently some Fear and Hunger. Only a little bit, not really bad. I'm trying not to just look stuff up. The one thing I did look up was how to get the dash ability because it's pretty useful early game. I haven't really touched Arkham Asylum because the one time I wanted to like sit down and play it, it was like not working with Proton. Celeste. I don't really play a lot anymore, but I really love Celeste. Goldie Squad I also don't play a lot, but I haven't beat like the true ending. I've only gotten to just like the normal ending or Concrete. It's just like Corvita class. Oh, what is this? Fix balls fish grassing. Man. Whatever. That's a fun game. I really like Cruelty Squad. You can see what YouTubers I watch. You can see I've watched Pyrocynical a few times. Like Cry of Fear. Darkwood. Right, so they just like pyro, 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 pyro. I'm pretty sure I actually heard from Fear and Hunger from like. Did Bendigoon do a video on it? I feel like he didn't. Someone did a video on Fear and Hunger. No, he did. He totally did. Oh, Super Eye Patch Wolf. That's right. Yeah, that's actually where I found out about it, but still. Oh yeah, I got the Dead Space remake. Like, it should. It stutters like when loading areas. It's like it's kind of like in the original Half-Life where it says it stops and says loading for a few seconds. Dude, I was like really addicted to Subnautica before I started playing Elden Ring before I left. By the way, I beat Elden Ring in a week before I left for my hour-long break. I beat every like shard bearer. So I beat Melania. I beat Radon. I beat Moog. I beat Morgon. I'm so annoyed at Morgon, man. Like, Morgon was way too easy. I beat Renala. Boy, do I have stories about Renala. Basically, so I went in there with like +0 Reduvia or something, or like +1 Reduvia blade. Because, like, that's what I want to play with. And I was like a little bit underleveled. But, like, I literally just could not kill her fast. Like, I had to walk around for like 3 minutes on her first phase, even longer. For probably 5 minutes each time I went to fight her. And then I get to her second phase. And it's like, you can stay on top of her for like a little bit. But, like, I just could. It's kind of like a damage check, because you get a DPS check almost like 4 Kings in the original Dark Souls. Because you just can't kill. Like, when she starts summoning this shit, it gets really. You get like 1 pot shot in her every 5 Souls game they released before Elden Ring was Dark Souls 3, and that has the best bosses in any Souls game. Yeah, I just think a lot of the bosses were gimmicky or bad in Elden Ring. Hold on, let's actually go through Dark Souls 3. Why is this installed? Let's go through some of the bosses. This is in like opposite order. I guess no one has beaten Champion Gundyr and stuff. No, but like, Abyss Watchers. Abyss Watchers is a pretty fun fight. Gorm the Giant, kind of like not that great because it's just like Storm Roller. It makes like trivializes the fight. Unlike, oh, that's Slash Shard Bearer, the one guy in Volcano Manor. Aldrich, very great fight. I love Aldrich. Lothric. My hot take is that this fight isn't that bad because I just used the most OP Sellsword Twin Blades build. But yeah, they just got cooked. Like, just run around his back and destroy him. Dude, I like missed a ton of Covenants because I just like didn't. In like, it might. Yeah, I just missed a ton of Covenants because I like didn't do all the. And I think in Dark Souls Remaster too, that I didn't like ask people about their Covenants because I don't care. Attendant Trace, I forget what that is. Archiving Peak. Udex Gundyr, great opening fight. Probably still. I don't know, because Asylum Demon actually goes down really quick once you get a weapon. Like, it's not that hard. Udex Gundyr is like proper. It's like a proper fight to start the game. It's like a little bit of skill check. Vord, also pretty good fight. Curse on Greatwood. It's like one of the last bosses I beat. Not a very good fight. I spent a while running around like its feet looking for the last bit of HP to take from it. Crystal Sage, pretty good. Deacons the Deep, eh. Highland Walnir, he's a little fun. Pontus Olivan, great. Probably the biggest skill check in the whole game. Dancer, awesome. I love Dancer. Another big skill check. Dragon Slayer armor, cool returning thing. I think it's kind of overdone because it was in Dark Souls 2 yet. Also, I'll talk about Dark Souls 2 after I'm talking about Dark Souls 3. Champion Gundyr, great fight. I love Gundyr. I love Champion Gundyr even better. Oseros, too easy, but pretty cool. One of the coolest designs. Doesn't have DLC achievements, do we? Nameless King is an awesome fight too. Just to get it done. Boss list. Crystal Sage, Abyss Watchers, Gundyr. I don't remember old Demon King because I killed him first try. At that, he's like actually the last boss I think I beat before Soul of Cinder. Okay, my biggest problem with Soul of Cinder is I beat the DLC before I fought Soul of Cinder, so I actually could have beat him first try if I was trying hard. Like, is he weak to lightning? Yeah, so I like put what's it called? Gold Pine Resin or Gold Pine Bundle, and like he gets clapped easily. Especially since you upgraded a ton of. Oh yeah, this fight is bullshit, by the way. But like Sister Frida, amazing fight. Champ Screen Timer, not a very good fight. It would have been really this would have been so cool if you're fighting like Artorias and Sif, bro. Like it's kind of like Sif. Like, you know, it's like a fandom thing. Like, Artorias and Sif is like the most iconic thing. There's a good fight. Demon, it's like a good double fight. That was like bullshit. I don't like Half-Light. It's a bit easier to chance it with the online players, but he's kind of hard if you're not good at PvP. Meteor, awesome. So Gale, probably best from soft fight. So it's like Dark Souls 3 has like amazing bosses. And Dark Souls, or in Elden Ring, just does it. Anyway, now talk about Dark Souls 2. I only have 40 hours on Dark Souls 2 and I quit the game. I got to Dark Souls 2 Castle. I got to some castle. Drangleic Castle. Here we can go into the Special Life Guide. Maybe I'm like going to the wrong place. What? Hold up. This is the this is the castle I'm thinking of, right? Because I remember he like went down into the basement. There's like some doors. There's like a ruined sentinel behind one. What if I look up Dark Souls 2 Wiki? Fine, like, will show me all ruined sentinel locations. I hate Extra Life, but whatever. It's basically a giant gang crew. .wiki. It's an HTTP only site, but whatever. Bro, are you kidding me? Enemies. Sentinel. Yeah, like the soul devouring doors, I guess. Fuck it, I'm getting on Dark Souls. No, I don't want to install Dark Souls 2. It's 20 gigabytes. Basically, Drangleic Castle walkthrough. Oh, wait, is this the one guy? I use like guides like this for Dark Souls 1 for Blighttown because that area's a bitch. Alright, so I think this is downstairs. Oh yeah. You can get through that door? Okay, so basically... No, this is the area. So you have to like go here. You have to like fight these stone enemies. Like that unfreeze from the floor. You have to fight like ruined sentinels. Because I actually opened like the wrong door. You have to like take on two at once and you can't like split them up. Piss me the fuck off. And you like have to go there. just like start yapping about Dark Souls. I really like Dark Souls. Amazing games. Truly, except for Dark Souls 2. Fuck Dark Souls 2. Oh, what other games do I really like recently? Donkey Kong Bonanza. Pretty awesome. Uh, if you don't know me, I'm like the Donkey Kong guy. Sort of. Not really. I'm like, my knowledge of Donkey Kong doesn't go that in depth, but every December, I try to beat every single Donkey Kong game for Donkey Kong December. Last December, and this is like a 2-year tradition, so I did it my first year. Then last year, I failed because I tried adding Mario vs. Donkey Kong games, and that was a problem because there's a lot of Mario vs. Donkey Kong games, and some of them it took me like hours to find a good setup to play them on my computer because I can't find my 3DS. So this year I'm not doing that no matter what because I was able to beat it first year, and I know Donkey Kong Bonanza. I'm probably gonna have to learn the speed run because the first year I beat it, I literally beat Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, my last game, on December 31st. But I think I wrote short coding stream. It's like one of my longer streams, just like ever. I don't really do that long streams usually. 2 hours, like my limit. Now speaking of long coding streams, I might do my remaking FNAF thing. I'll talk about that later. What was I talking about again? Shit. Fuck, I yapped too much. Oh yeah, Donkey Kong December. And I like I really need to learn the Donkey Kong 64 speedrun like before December, because I literally went in that day and used like the only Donkey Kong Country, or the only Donkey Kong 64 speedrun tutorial that like I can actually find online, which is a really old one by Fox. What I really should do is I should watch like a decently fast speedrun from like a few years ago, and I should just Google how to do all those tricks. But yeah, so I want to learn the speedruns for Donkey Kong Country 1, 2, well, at least 1 and 2, probably 3 also, so I can knock all those out in like each of them in an hour and do it in like the first 2 days. In like the first 2 days of Donkey Kong December, because that knocks out like a good chunk. And like December's really tough because not only am I doing Donkey Kong December, I'm doing Advent of Code, and I have midterms that month. I might have robotics competitions. If I actually end up joining speech and debate, I might have speech and debate stuff. So December is a very busy month. And yeah, I still love Donkey Kong enough to do Donkey Kong December. But yeah, adding Bonanza, I'm probably gonna have to learn how to speedrun it too. I haven't beat the game yet. How long does it actually take to beat it though? 16 hours. I'm probably playing it a little bit a little bit slow because I'm not that great and I'm just like chilling, enjoying my time. How does it say Super Mario Odyssey though? These are not 12 hours. Like I can beat Mario Odyssey in 4 hours easily. You don't even have to know that many skips. I can't do like on current version, and I didn't do Mooncave skip because I couldn't figure it out. I beat it in like, it's not current version, but it's like not the speedrunner version too. Basically. 64 or Donkey Kong Bonanza probably isn't that one. If I have enough time, I might actually legit play Donkey Kong 64 because it's a very long game. But if I have the time, I will. Actually, let me pull up my list. Basically, I have a Discord for Donkey Kong. It's like very small. It's like 3 friends. It's really dumb that I set up a whole Discord for it. It's just like Donkey Kong worship in general, which I was the only one who really got on board with. So, but now I guess only is really during Donkey Kong December for me to keep track of my progress. So, oh yeah, I have a really fun story to tell about me playing Donkey Kong Jungle Beat this past year, but we'll talk about that later. Basically, I have to beat Donkey Kong Country, all of those games. That's Current Tropical Freeze 1, 2, and 3, Donkey Kong 64, the Donkey Kong Land games, which are shitty Game Boy versions of the original Donkey Kong countries, 1, 2, and 3, DK King Swing and Jungle Climber. I beat each in a day. They're like fine games. Donkey Kong Jungle Beat. Okay, so one like great amazing idea, not really, I had, but I really want to work on it still because it's kind of fun. It's like, you ever hear of a thing called Emu Deck? It like lets you integrate everything into Steam. Now what I wanted to do is, basically I wanted to make like a series of what I really want to do is make a website that's like a shell script generator that like, if you use CD into shell scripts, like you run the shell scripts, and it like opens Donkey Kong Jungle Beat, like already set up some stuff for you, except for keybinds, in Dolphin Emulator. That's like really cool, and you can link that shell script in Steam, and like that's all manual. You can like link it in Steam and make it look all nice, and it's basically just like it's a Steam game. It takes a little bit more work than actual Emu Deck, but whatever. But like, one of the things I have is mic to numpad. I'm pretty sure AI literally just made this, but yeah, it did. Basically what it does though is like, in Donkey Kong Jungle Beat, which I thought was a really cool detail that I returned into Bonanza, in some form you can clap. I'm trying not to sneeze because it's 2 a.m. and my parents are sleeping. Basically what it does is it like listens to your headphones. If it's loud enough, you can clap, and it'll hit a number on my numpad, and that is like bound to the microphone in Dolphin. And because what I did was I like put some shit on my keyboard to like make it 2 big pads, so then I could like actually kind of play Donkey Kong Jungle Beat like I had Donkey Kong Bongos. And the funny thing is, you don't have to actually clap to activate the clap control. So like what I would do sometimes is there's a boss that like throws melons at you. That's really annoying. And you have to clap to send him back and like kill him. And you can only just like yell for a while if you just want to keep that going. It's really fun. It was really fun. I was like streaming it, so it was kind of fun too. Then Donkey Kong 94 I have to beat. That's a really great game. I should probably learn how to speedrun that too, just because it's like 100 levels or something. So it usually takes me like a day or two. Donkey Kong, obviously, which takes like no time because you have to be like 4 levels. Donkey Kong Jr., Donkey Kong Junior Math is such a dumb game, bro. It's literally just like you do 1+1, but you move around with Donkey Kong Jr. And I don't think there's an actual like campaign story mode, if you would call it that. So I like fuck around in it for a few minutes. There's Donkey Kong 3. I think it's underrated. I like it a little bit more than Donkey Kong 1. Donkey Kong Game & Watch, which I just played like the Game & Watch collection. Donkey Kong Barrel Blast. I didn't actually play this game because I don't think it has an actual story mode. So I don't want to play Donkey Kong Barrel Blast because it's a bad game. So I mean, if that doesn't make me a true Donkey Kong player, then fuck it. Donkey Konga games, I haven't actually beat them, but you just like play a few songs in them and say, hey, for Donkey Kong December, I played it. Um, and then last year I was trying to beat Mario vs. Donkey Kong, Mario vs. Donkey Kong 2. Each took me like 2 days because they're long games. MVDK, Minis March Again, Miniland Mayhem, Minis on the Move, Tipping Stars, Mini Mario and Friends doesn't count, but it's like really annoying. And those Mario vs. Donkey Kong games ruined it for me. I didn't get around to play Tropical Freeze or 64